I was riding my bike.
We were in the car together and we were hit.
And it did not stop. It hit me.
Pretty much hit me head on.
I got hit from behind.
My leg was broken in several places.
I had many fractures.
And then I get that phone call and he's been hit.
I knew right away something wasn't right.
My injuries were getting worse.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going on. And that's when I knew I had to give you a call.
Contact Jed.
I said, who can I call to help me again? Jed Dietrich.
Oh, that was amazing. When I got a hold of you guys and you guys took care of everything.
It was almost like I felt led to reach out to you. It was almost like I felt led to reach out to you.
And I called you and you handled that thing. I mean, you handled it.
I calmed right down because you explained everything.
You came right to the house.
Contact Jed.
You guys took that load off of me. What I didn't know, you guys filled me in.
I knew that I was in good hands and people that I could trust.
Contact Jed.
When you're suffering, to know someone is there for you. That means a lot, Jed.
It made me feel comfortable that all I had to do was focus on my recovery.
You stand by your word.
It just felt right.
I didn't have to deal with the insurance company anymore.
Putting yourselves in my shoes, and I really appreciated that.
I just knew that it was going to be taken care of.
Contact Jed.
Yeah, you're a real fighter.
The whole experience in general was amazing.
It was superb.
A weight off my shoulders.
Contact Jed.
Above and beyond.
That's someone who you should go for.
I would only trust Jed Dietrich.
Contact Jed.
Thank you for joining our presentation on what to do after a car accident or a slip and fall or a serious personal injury when it wasn't your fault. You'll hear success stories from former clients in their own words on how we help them in their time of need. Desiree, so nice to see you here today. Thank you so much for coming in to talk to me and the folks out there about what it was like to work with my law firm after your personal injury. Let's just talk a little bit about what it was like to work with my firm.
It was great. I've worked with Peg, was my first one. Just to clarify, I've had 2 accidents, unfortunately. I was the passenger in both. Literally, I just say when you're driving, please be extra cautious and be the defensive driver because somebody waved the car on and they plowed right into us, T-boned us. The second accident I had, my daughter was the driver. I was a passenger. And this one they thought we were moving and we weren't, so they rear-ended us. So it was not very comfortable, clearly, but working with your firm was great. I work with Peg and Carmela and Rebecca. They're all great. I like to tell you, too, when I hear your commercials, I enjoy the fact that I work with your firm and what your commercials are saying is what happens. You say, we call you back. They call back. Even if it's at the end of the day, they say, hey, listen, we're working on this, but we just want to get you updated. They do that. So I enjoy that. They mean what they say and they do what they mean.
We appreciate that. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with your dad and then him being a former client also, and then you coming to me after your dad had his case, and then you had your case, again, another case with your dad in the car.
My father's been working with you. He works with the advertising with the local newspaper. So he's been working with you for years, minimally 10 years. So I've grown up knowing and about you and everything, and he's introduced me to you prior to that. So when the accident happened, he's like, you got to go to Jed. He called Peg. He said, Peg, she's coming. And I appreciate the fact that it's a phone call away and we're able to do that and they tell you exactly what to do and make it seamless for you because you're already going through the process of the accident, the pain, the doctor's appointments, but they're always there to help to guide you along.
I appreciate that, Desiree. And again, for folks out there, Desiree is one of my former clients. She's not a paid actor. She's a true person. She's giving her true story of what it was like to work with my firm. She was involved in 2 collisions, both of which were not the driver's fault when she was a passenger or her fault when she was involved in a collision. And there are important things to talk about here after a car accident in New York. You have to file what's known as an MV-104 form, which is a form with the Department of Motor Vehicles describing how the collision occurred. Many large law firms do not complete that form on behalf of their clients, like Desiree. We take that form, we complete that form on the client's behalf. We did it for you, Desiree, we did it for your dad, and then we submit the form to the New York State Department of Motor Vehicles. There are other forms that have to be filled out for the insurance company for the car you're in. Those are no-fault forms, and you know that, Desiree, because no fault pays your medical bills. And it's kind of strange in New York. The car you're in pays for your medical bills, even though the car you're in or the driver of the car you're in may not be at fault or you're driving your own car. It's not your fault. Why should your insurance company pay for your medical bills? That's just the way it works in New York. There are many questions, complex questions, complicated questions after a car accident in New York We're here to answer those questions. So if you ever wanted to contact us, you can go to our website at www.calljed.com. That's CALLJED.com. Or contact us at 866-LAW-JEDI. That's LAWJEDI. So again, Desiree, thank you so much for joining us here today. Tell us a little bit more about what it was like to work with Peggy, my executive legal assistant. Again, I control every case in the office. I review every single case that comes in the office. I reviewed your case, your father's case, your daughter's case. And again, it's been a pleasure to work with you and your family. We have a great dedicated team of legal professionals, and Peggy's one of those people. Carmela's another person that you mentioned, and then Rebecca's an associate lawyer in my office. We've got multiple associate lawyers to help people in their time of need after a car accident or a slip and fall in New York State. So tell us a little bit more about what it was like to work with my team, Desiree.
Well, I did enjoy working with them because, again, as you're going through and you're talking to people, I had to go through a lot of doctor's appointments, had a couple of surgeries, unfortunately, but they were there to walk me through it. Many times when you're going through things, you're like, okay, where do I turn? Where do I get the help? You can call them and you can feel that they're sincere when they're talking to you. It's nothing like calling a place, just, these days we're talking a lot about customer service. I don't know if it's generational, but right now the customer service in many places is not that great. Here is great. It's so warm. They're understanding. They're inviting, hey, do you have any questions? How can I help you? I had a couple instances where I had to find a specific doctor to go for whatever the issue was, and I just couldn't find it. They said, let me get back to you. They helped to navigate me through to get to that doctor in order to get what I needed. So it's not oh, we don't have time, we'll get back to you in a couple of weeks. It's let me get back to you, and it's usually within that day's time. That's very comforting to have, because when you're going through a process, you're just like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that. Okay, where do I turn to? They're like the one-stop shop, and we'll send you out these directions. And if they did not have the answer right then, they say, let me get back to you. So I appreciate that. Sometimes you talk to people and they say, okay, I know this information, I'm going to shoot it out there. Let me just check on it and get back to you. So I appreciate that honesty, and let me just get that little extra check. And they actually do respond to you. So that's so important too.
Thank you so much, Desiree. So you've talked about three of the main principles in our office. The first one is, if there's a question about whether to provide more service or less service as a law firm, I always instruct my staff and I always provide more service. So after a car accident, you need a disability note from the doctor. Some law firms will tell the client to go to the doctor's office, get the note, and send it into no fault themselves. We never do that. We say, we'll take care of that for you. So we contact the doctor's office, we receive the note, we send it to no fault, and then we circle back with the client themselves, just like you, Desiree, your father, Joe, and say, look, we got the note, we sent it to no fault, we circled back with you, it's all set, the check is going to come to you to represent your lost wages, or even a medical bill perhaps. I have clients call me all the time who are with different law firms, and they say, well, I keep getting medical bills that were supposed to be paid by my insurance company under no fault, and my lawyer didn't get them paid. I'm afraid I'm going to go to collections for this. I say, we can take care of it for you. We do take other clients from other firms if we think we can help them under the circumstance. But it's always best to contact us directly right after any personal injury case. And again, you can go to our website, check us out at calljed.com. That's CALLJED.com. So that's the first thing. If there's a fork in the road, we provide more personal injury service rather than less. The second thing is we treat others the way we want to be treated.
Yes.
Again, Desiree, you mentioned that. I appreciate all your heartfelt comments just now. And it goes to my personal philosophy as a lawyer. I'm here to help you in your time of need. You didn't know where to turn. Your dad didn't know where to turn. Your daughter doesn't know where to turn. We're here. We return every phone call within 1 business day. We live by the golden rule, which is to treat others the way we want to be treated. And then the last thing is, and you mentioned it, and I need to highlight it because these are the principles of my firm that distinguish us from the other firms out there. There are many law firms that advertise all day long, here, there, and everywhere else. This presentation is a longer presentation to allow you to understand what makes our firm better than the other firms. Why is it the firm that you need to contact? You should contact our firm because we will return every phone call to you. We will provide higher service if there's a fork in the road. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to tell you the truth. We're going to be honest with you because everyone has been on the phone with a customer service person, whether that's the bank or the car dealer, and you ask them a question and you hear a pause at the end of the line and you're like, do they know the answer? And you're thinking to yourself, They don't know the answer. And then they blurt something out when they don't really know the answer, and maybe it's not the right information. I have instructed my staff every time to not do that, to tell the client, we don't know the answer. We'll research the question and the answer, and we will call you back. So that's what distinguishes my firm from the other firms. We're honest with you, we'll figure it out, and we'll circle back with you. So again, Desiree, thank you so much for identifying those three things that make my firm stand apart from many other law firms to do similar type of work. And again, I provide my personal cell phone number to every one of my clients right from the get-go when the case is signed up. And I review every single case that comes into my office.
And I tell you as a client, it's very much appreciated.
Well, I appreciate that, Desiree. Tell us a little bit more about your background and in your current work environment, and compare that with what you see in our office in terms of what we've done for you.
Well, currently I work in accounting, so I work in the office. In your office setting, in your daily setting, and you're working, this is the type of environment that you want to be a part of. And I do have that where I work daily. It's a nice and it's a flowing type environment where everybody cares. When you're working somewhere where you care, it's very easy to go to work. And when you have leadership that's instilling that, so that's praises to you. I appreciate you. Thank you very much, because you've trained your staff and they actually listen. So that's a plus as well. But it's something that you're looking for. So when you're representing something or somebody, that's who you want to represent. Outside of here, I also have my own business, and my business, I operate the same way. Having your own business, with my business is DLP Consulting, so I help smaller businesses and give them that extra special touch. Coming to your office, that's the first thing we do. Okay, let me explain what happened. Here's what happened in the accident. Here's what happens, what's going to go from here, step by step by step. So when you see that, it's a thing of where you can say, okay, let's go ahead and move forward with this, because now I know what's going on. Here's what I know what to expect. So I did take that little bit of leadership from you, because when I deal with my clients personally, I do the same thing, because we don't know what we don't know. But if you have somebody to educate you with that, it gets you to moving to that next step, and you can do that freely and comfortably.
And I appreciate all those comments, Desiree. And again, for folks that just joined us, Desiree's a former client of my law firm. She's not a paid actor. She hasn't been provided with any type of compensation for the thoughts that she's providing or the instruction that she's providing. And one of the things that Desiree just mentioned is something that I work with my team on at least once a month. Very frequently, more than once a month, we do team meetings where I instruct my team not only to provide the highest level of personal injury service, but that we are educators to our clients. As you just mentioned, Desiree, when you're a client, you come into this environment, this personal injury world, you didn't do anything wrong. You were rear-ended. Maybe you slipped and fell because the railing pulled out at your apartment building. Perhaps you're in your apartment and the ceiling collapses. These are all types of cases we handle on a day-to-day basis. If you're injured and it wasn't your fault, check us out at calljed.com. That's CALLJED.com, or 866-LAW-JEDI. That's LAWJEDI. It's out there. It's important to know the fee for personal injury services is free until the end of the case. We don't charge anything for the consultation phone calls. We don't charge for our time on the phone. Many law firms charge for their time. It's an hourly type situation. We're under a contingency arrangement. In New York State, the fee is 1/3, and that's prescribed by law, by statute. But what I like to say is you can get the best lawyer in the world for 1/3, or you can get a lawyer that maybe isn't the best lawyer. We strive to be the best personal injury law firm to help you in your time of need. That's what we strive to do.
It made me feel comfortable that all I had to do was focus on my recovery.
You stand by your word.
It just felt right.
I didn't have to deal with the insurance company anymore.
Putting yourselves in my shoes, and I really appreciated that.
I just knew that it was going to be taken care of.
Contact Jed.
Yeah, you're a real fighter.
The whole experience in general was amazing.
It was superb.
A weight off my shoulders.
Contact Jed.
Above and beyond.
That's someone who you should go for.
I would only trust Jed Duford.
Contact Jed.
My mission statement is to provide the highest level of personal injury service to people in their time of need. So again, Desiree, you mentioned that we've educated you, and that was one thing that you appreciated when we were going through the process of getting your case from when you were injured, unfortunately injured, to when the case was settled. Let's just talk a little bit more about what it was like in terms of us educating you as to how it was going to go. So let's talk about your first collision when you were injured. After the collision, what injuries did you have, Desiree?
Whew. Here's what I say. I went through many years of my life with no accidents on record, so I was not in a lot of pain prior to. Post accident, I had the neck injury. I had ended up with a neck surgery from that. I had little back issues. So it was a constant, I was always going to physical therapy. My physical therapist knew me very well, and that's when we were wearing the mask. They knew who I was coming through the door because I was there 3-4 times a week. I had to go through OT to repair quite a few things. Then it got to the point, because I'm not one for surgeries, because again, I relatively healthy, I didn't have to do that. So I did everything I could instead of trying to get that surgery off the bat. And unfortunately, it did end up that way. So the process of when the accident happened, I came into the office. I was at your other office for the first accident, sat down with Peg, first time meeting her, great. But I've talked to her before, because I've met you guys prior to, just to, hey, how you doing? But when I sat down and she sat there, it was a lot of paper, so can't get away from paperwork, but that's what's needed because it's law. You know, you want to make sure everything is above board. So that's where your explanation and the education came from. Okay, here's what's going to happen. This is what this form's saying. So she didn't just say, here's all these forms, sign these so you can go. It was, listen, here's what this means. Here's what this means. Do you have any questions? Great. This, and this. That's something that's very important, because I'm in unknown territory. I don't walk around saying, hey, come hit me so I can get hurt. That's not the way it works. So going through that process, Peg and Rebecca and Carmela, they'll call, say, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. Just, hey, how are you doing? Not, did you send the form back I needed? Did you do this? How are you feeling? That's important, because a lot of times as we're going through life, not many people ask you how you're feeling and mean it. So they do. So it's a step-by-step process that they're walking you through. So when you're kind of aware of what's going on, or I can get a form or even a bill and say, hey, I don't know what to do with this. Oh, well, go ahead, send it over to us. We'll take care of it. Hey, here's what we did with this bill. We talked to the doctor, whatever the case. So I appreciate the fact, again, that when you say you're going to do something, where they said they're going to do something, they do it. Even when it came to my daughter, she's like, hey, I will call, and they just call right back. That's great, because, I don't want to say it as, okay, because my father knew you, you took care of me better. No, it was everybody, the staff in general. Even from walking through the door, you're greeted. And, I don't know everybody's name there, because I would just ask for Peg or whatever, whoever it came for. So just all the way around, the inviting. And as the last time I seen Rebecca, we said, great working with you, but don't really want to see you again in here. But good to see your face anyway. But because of that relationship you built, it's like you work with somebody for a year or two on your case, and it's like, okay, it's over. I don't get that call anymore. But I do appreciate the fact that you guys are around. So, just having a chance to say, if I see somebody passing me, hey, how you doing? It's great to see. That as a client means a lot more than what you would really know until you're in that situation. So just being able to work with the office and them coming in and saying, okay, here's what we're the next steps, or, we got this phone call, tell me a little bit more about this, or the next steps. And then they do ask how it went with those doctors.
Right.
Are we sending our clients to the right doctors as given, or paying attention? So, the doctors they sent me to and referred to, it's a huge help, because you don't know where to go. It's uncharted, unfamiliar territory. And when they say, hey, try this doctor, I work with them personally, then when you walk into that office, it's like, oh yeah, Jed, he's great.
It's our pleasure to help you and to have helped you along the way, Desiree. Again, our pleasure. I think there are a couple of things that Desiree mentioned there, that we have offices throughout New York State to assist you. And if you want to contact us at 866-LAW-JEDI, LAWJEDI, or our website, which is calljed.com, CALLJED.com. We're here to help you. We're here to educate you. We're here to treat you the way we want to be treated. We live by the golden rule. And again, Desiree, your heartfelt comments are just energizing to me and my team. And what we do when we talk to folks like you after the case is done, someone who is not a paid spokesperson, you haven't been compensated in any way. This is all just volunteering information out there for people who are out there who are injured. They don't know where to turn. After a car accident, you have to be educated. We're here to educate you. We want to do it in a way that allows people to feel comfortable and to feel like they're being taken care of. And it's taken me many years to assemble this team of dedicated legal professionals that it's our mission and their mission to provide this service to you to help you when you don't know where to turn. And you're hurt, you're injured, the money's not coming in because you can't work frequently. These are all things where there are mountains of paperwork. I mean, literally mountains of documents. And you know, Desiree, tell the folks out there what it was like to get the forms.
You know, a lot of people sometimes can be threatened by a law office, first of all, whether it's injury or whatever the case. I can't say that I don't see many lawyers, so I'm not used to just walking into a law office. So sometimes when you're going to a law office, it's a little bit threatening because you don't really know what to expect. It's like walking into a courtroom and you didn't do anything wrong. But walking in, there's just a lot of stuff, so it's put in front of you. But I appreciate this law office because, yeah, it's a lot of paperwork, but they go through every page with you. It's not, here, read this, I'll be back in an hour, let me know what you think.
Right.
At the end, though, it was when I got down to, okay, here's the injuries, here's the doctors you've been to. That to me was very overwhelming, and I didn't realize I had that much going on, because as you're going through it, it seems like it's a lot for a minute, but then when you sit down, like I sat with, I think Pay came in too, because she had to notarize it, and we reviewed it. I was like, wow. After a car accident, sometimes you be like, oh no, I'm fine. Then you're like, okay, a couple of days later, you're like, oh, okay, it doesn't feel as good as I thought I was okay. So seeing that paperwork, it definitely can be overwhelming, but I appreciate the fact that I was able to say, okay, I have a question on this, or what does this mean? And they sit with you and they take that time to review that with you. So if you had any questions, or you say, okay, what about this? What about that? Those specifics, that's what they're there for. So when you look at paperwork, you're like, okay, great. But it's not just there for you just to sign and say, okay, be done with it. It's reviewed. You have the chance to look at the information and you get a copy of it. I have a Jet Dietrich file in my office. I keep everything. It's a paperwork trail for me, but there's no secrets. Here's what we did. Here's what we're going to do. Sign off saying that you know that we talked about this. So when you're getting that information and they're voluntarily telling you, I tell them as adults, we want everything explained to us. As children, we have to have it explained so that we can learn it. But as adults, sometimes people feel threatened for you asking questions. There's no threat here. You ask a question, they answer it. If they can't answer it at that moment, they get the answer for you. So don't be afraid to say, okay, I have a question. It's about 50 pages here, about page 30. What does that mean? They explain that to you. And I did have a couple questions and they explained it. And I was like, oh, okay, great. But never be afraid to ask questions. As adults, sometimes we're like, we don't want to be embarrassed, or we don't want to act like we didn't know. If you don't know, you have to ask. If you don't ask, you'll never know. So they always say the stupidest question is the one that you don't ask.
I appreciate all those comments, Desiree. And for the folks out there, it's important to note some of these comments, because when you're in a collision, you might not be thinking straight. You might not know how seriously injured you were. Very frequently, you're more seriously injured 2 or 3 days after the collision, if it's a car accident or even a slip and fall. We take these cases, we help people in their time of need so that they can have their questions answered. And when you referred to my staff assisting you when there were mountains of paperwork, by explaining things and then assisting you with the signatures and then submitting the forms on your behalf, that makes me feel good knowing that my staff is doing what I trained them to do, which was to educate the client, to assist the client with the paperwork, and then to close the gap, which is to send the paperwork in to get the case resolved. Now, it's important, Desiree, to note for folks out there, the vast majority of the cases in my law office, in most law offices, do not go to trial. About 95 to 98% of the cases do not go to trial, which means it's as simple after an accident as contacting us at Law Jedi, LAWJEDI, or calljed.com, CALLJED.com. But what we do for you is we assess the problem, we decide what needs to be done, we educate you as to telling you what we're going to do on your behalf, we effectuate that, we do what we say we're going to do, we make sure that you're comfortable, make sure we get the records from your doctors, that those records are accurately portraying your situation, and then we send those to the insurance company. And normally a case like yours takes about 18 months to be resolved from start to finish. And many clients ask me, well, why does it take 18 months? I've heard of other clients or with other lawyers taking 2 or 3 or 6 years. Well, the majority of the speed within which the case is resolved depends on how seriously injured you are. So if you're very seriously injured and you treat with doctors for 6 years, then the case shouldn't be resolved until you're really done with your doctors. Your situation was good because you received treatment, you received a surgery, unfortunately, and then we were in a position to resolve the case with a proper settlement.
Correct. Yep. I'm a true believer of telling you when you did a great job, and you all did a great job. I don't need to be paid to give a compliment. You know, a compliment is just, for me, it's self-satisfying, but somebody came and said, you did a great job. So I like to do that as well. So as Jed keeps saying, no, I was not paid for this, but because I enjoyed the services that I received from your office and your staff and just the overall experience, because again, it's very overwhelming. There are times when literally I had so much going on, and I think the one time Peg had called me just to follow up on something else, and I was just like, oh my goodness, it's just, she's like, well, you know, what's going on? Tell me. But it's the genuine caring. You can train on it, but you can't make them do it. So as you say, this is the way I want to run my office. It still's up to them to actually portray what you say, because again, you review all the cases, but you can't be in the room every time. So it's good to know just from your clients who haven't had that experience that said, okay, but just so that you know, when you're not around, here's what really happened. So when you hear what really happened, and it just makes you feel like, okay, everything I'm doing is coming through. And to be able to see that as, you know, this is your firm and your staff, I have to say you did a very good job training. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Desiree. I appreciate all your
it.
comments. You're
You're
very
welcome.
kind and sincere, and please tell your dad, Joe, I said hello, and your daughter for
I
me,
will
okay?
do. All righty.
Thank you again.
very much.
Good
Have
to
a great
see you.
day. Thank you.
I was riding my bike.
We was in the car together and we were hit.
And it did not stop. It hit me.
Pretty much hit me head on.
I got hit from behind.
My leg was broken in several places.
I had many fractures.
And then I get that phone call, and he's been hit.
I knew right away something wasn't right.
My injuries were getting worse.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going on. And that's when I knew I had to give you a call.
Contact Jed.
But I said, who can I call to help me again? Jed Dietrich.
Oh, that was amazing. When I got a hold of you guys and you guys took care of everything.
It was almost like I felt led to reach out to you. It was almost like I felt led to reach out to you.
And I called you and you handled that thing. I mean, you handled it.
I calmed right down because you explained everything.
You came right to the house.
Contact Jed.
You guys took that load off of me. What I didn't know, you guys filled me in.
I knew that I was in good hands and people that I could trust.
Contact Jed.
When you're suffering, to know someone is there for you, that means a lot, Jed.
It made me feel comfortable that all I had to do was focus on my recovery.
You stand by your word.
It just felt right.
I didn't have to deal with the insurance company anymore.
Putting yourselves in my shoes, and I really appreciated that.
I just knew that it was going to be taken care of.
Contact Jed.
Yeah, you're a real fighter.
The whole experience in general was amazing.
It was superb.
A weight off my shoulders.
Contact Jed.
Above and beyond.
That's someone who you should go for.
I would only trust Jed Dietrich.
Contact Jed.